Alright, Chef Warren here with a whole roasted chicken. We're going to cook it in the pot Stanley style. So what we're going to do is we've got our rosemary and garlic. We're going to chop up the garlic nicely. We're going to take the rosemary off the stick and chop it up so we get that all ready. And then we're going to get our chicken ready. So it's trussed. I'm going to untruss it, take the string off. Don't want to tear it because we're going to use the same string. And we're going to pull all the fat right off the chicken, right? Because we don't want that fat. So a nice little trick is what you do is you cut along the spine, the back of the chicken, right along the spine, and then the rest of the fat will just peel right off, which is quite easy. So we're just going to pull it right off. Let's give it a bit of a trim. So just cut that chunk right out of there, right along the spine. Got my chef's knives, nice and sharp, slices through anything. And then once most of that's pulled off, we get all the fat off. We're going to leave a bit of the fat on the wings, and we just pull it right off that thing. Right? And if you think about it, look at all this fat. We're getting rid of that. Healthier cooking, right? Cut down some of the additional cholesterol. So all the fat comes right out of there. A bit of a trimming around the legs, on the top of the breast. And we just get that right off. Pulls it off the legs. All right. So that was a huge handful of chicken fat we're getting rid of. Got my pan preheating there, I think, on the side. So we're getting that ready. Preheat for a couple of minutes. The fat comes off, and then we're going to retruss it. So I'm going to use the same piece of string that I just took off. Before you take the string off, just have a quick peek on how it's done so you can see how to put it back. So we cut this off, all off. Alright, that's the way we like it. Alright. Then the nice thing about having a trussed chicken is when you cook it, it's not moving all over the place. It's slightly more contained. It's easier to take out when it's cooked if it's tied together a bit. So we're just going to get that back in there. Looks like it's trying to do some gymnastics, but when you get it right, it's going to look fine. Pull it around the legs, flip it over, and then we just tie the knuckle right through it. Hold it in place. There we go. Alright, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to slice up an onion. So this is going to be for the gravy afterwards. So I'm going to get everything ready. Pan's preheating meanwhile. So we get that on the go. So for the gravy, I'm going to use celery, carrots, onions, garlic, and rosemary. Water beans, chicken, and sear that meat. Brown it nicely and sear it up. So we're going to leave the lid ajar, and we're going to sear it for a good 15 minutes. With the lid open. Okay. After 15 minutes, we're going to flip it over and sear the other side, nicely brown. We're on a medium heat right now. Browning nicely. Let's brown it a little bit longer. Alright, leave the lid ajar. When it's nicely brown, we take it out. We're going to add a bit of garlic and rosemary and season it up. Inside the pan, so nothing's burned, so the temperature is perfect. And what we're going to do is put in our onions. We're going to put in some celery and carrots, some rosemary, and some garlic. Right, so that's going to be underneath the chicken when we put the chicken back into the pan. When we're finished done, we're going to make that into gravy. Right. So I'm going to season the chicken nicely. I got a little bit of cayenne seasoning I'm going to put in there. We're going to season it around, put it back into the pan, and then add our rosemary and that garlic. We're going to put our baby potatoes inside, our baby reds, spread them around the pot. All right, we'll try and get one of the potatoes touching some of the steel. And I'm going to put a 1/4 cup of chicken broth. Now, when you put the chicken broth in, don't pour it over the chicken because it'll pour all the seasonings, ingredients down. So just pour it down the side, put a 1/4 cup of chicken broth in there, right? And then we can put the lid on and wait for the whistle to go off. When the whistle goes off, we turn it down to just over low heat, medium-low heat. In a pot, we're going to make our rice. So my measurement today was a small bowl, so it's 1 bowl of rice, 1.5 bowls of water. We rinse the starch off, get that starch out of there, right? So I put 1.5 bowls of water on a medium heat, bring it to a boil. When it boils, let it bubble for about 2 minutes, and then we put the lid on. And that's bubbling away, and we put the lid on, and we're going to shut the vent and turn the stove right off. Alright, we can get this ready for Stanley cooking. So now we've been cooking here for about 20 minutes. I'm going to get my vegetables. We're going to put them right on top. I have here in my basket, I got broccoli, beans. We have some carrots, corn, broccoli stem, and cauliflower. I put a little bit of olive oil, extra virgin cold pressed olive oil. We're going to put that right on the bit of the broccoli and the cauliflower and the beans. I don't like the olive oil in my carrots personally. A frying pan upside down and the rice right on top. Energy efficient cooking. So now we're Stanley cooking. That's the way it should be done. Right, so we're going to let that cook for another 20 minutes. 20 minutes later, we're all good to go. Rice is ready. We get that on the side. Take a frying pan on. Vegetables will cook nicely. All right, we're going to move that over to one side. Roasted chicken's done. Potatoes are done. That is dinner for two. Well, actually, this is really dinner for four tonight. But get our spuds out of there and get that on the side. And then we're going to get the chicken out of here as well. All right, we get the chicken out, nice and juicy, not dried out. If you pull the leg apart and it just comes apart nice and easily, it's a good sign the chicken's completely cooked all the way through. Bottom of the pan, I've left a couple of potatoes in there. We're going to blend everything up. I'll leave the potatoes in to help thicken it. And that was like approximately a cup of rice. I always find it amazed how much rice fluffs up. You get a much better yield in rice in our cookware. And that is roasted chicken dinner with potatoes, carrots, broccoli, beans. We got a lovely homemade gravy on rice. And that's the way Chef Warren likes to do it.